It's been 15 years since trainer Brett Pelling won the Meadowlands Pace with Rock and Roll Hanover. He has a chance to be 1-2 in the 2020 edition of the Meadowlands Pace with Allywag Hanover and Pappy Rap Hanover. I took some time this week to talk to him about his two top contenders in the Pace.
I just got a phone call from Adam Bowden, and it was kind of late December, and asked me if I was interested in taking the horse. And I knew a couple of the other partners and everything, and obviously I knew the horse had speed and everything, and he's a 3-year-old. I mean, anytime you have the opportunity to have a 3-year-old that you think may go forward, you got to do it.
He really has turned the corner at the age of 3. With all the uncertainty that there was a couple of months back, when did you realize you had a serious contender?
I think the first time I qualified him at Chester, I mean, he sort of got knocked down with about 3/8 to go and got bumped and everything, and then he sort of got away from that and took off, and you could actually see him just reeling in a horse that he shouldn't have reeled in. I said, well, this horse got some get. And he'd been okay here at home, but he's a little bit of a rogue. He likes to do things his way, and we kind of hung him up in a way where when I got to the track, let's rig him up when we get there, because this is not kind of working out, and that's ended up being a good call. Well, I looked at the schedule that he has. He's not as staked as what Pappy Rob is. And with the whole COVID thing and everything, we're not too sure what's going to happen with Canada or really everything going forward. And I thought the Cyrus Stakes was a good option for him, and you have to race in 2 legs to get in the final. So that was a good opportunity to race in a leg. And also, he's not a big horse, and he doesn't carry a lot of condition, doesn't need much work. And him having basically an 8.5, 9-day break between his race and the Pace final, for me, was perfect.
You had to race against the older in his first 2 starts of 2020 season, where he came from off the pace and really exploded off his cover. Did that excite you about his abilities at all?
Well, he showed high speed. He looks flashy. I mean, even when we qualified him, you could see that he just got genuine high speed. I mean, some horses go fast, some go faster, and he's a fast horse.
He raced in the PA Cyrus Stakes last week. Toomey moved him to the front past the half, and he drew away from the field. Do you think he has a trip preference?
You know what? I really don't. I think now that he's been covered up a couple of times, and he's got the sprint home, and he seems to be doing it pretty comfortable, I think he can probably do anything now. I actually think he'd be an awesome horse first up. I think first up with the speed he's got. The one flaw that I've seen him have is pulling 4 wide. He's not too keen to get out in that 4 wide lane, but once he's there, he's straight. But getting there, so if he's on the front or 2 wide like he was at Chester, I think that's just to his advantage. Well, you know what? I missed the first half of the pill drop. I was actually warming one up, and I didn't know till afterwards. But 4's a good draw for him. I mean, I'd say he's very versatile, and he can pretty much capitalize on anything that's going on. If he has to get moving, he can get moving. I mean, he has that much speed. I don't think he can get in trouble whatever he does.
The season for the 3-year-olds leading up to the Meadowlands Pace is shorter this year. Did that change your preparation for Pappy Rob's season?
Oh, definitely. He should have had 5 races before now. So even all along, knowing what his first couple of starts would be, I think we had him penciled in to go to Pocono and Chester. That's when the Cyrus Stakes originally would have been. He's not a big training horse. He likes to do work long, strong. He's not a horse that you bike up and think, oh wow, he's all ready to go. I always knew that he would need races. So yeah, it's definitely been interrupted for him. And does he have enough under his belt now? I just not 100% sure.
After only having 1 start prior to last week's elimination, what were your impressions on his first performance back?
His first start back, I thought was great. I mean, he was just, he was pacing as fast as a horse could pace there when they straightened up. I thought he was tremendous. The Meadowlands is tough now. I mean, it's almost comes into a mathematical situation. I mean, they can only go so much, and He's been finishing off his races great. Even last week in the Elim there, middle half was probably a bit soft for being off where he was, and you're following a horse who backs into you. So he was okay.
He was able to close on the leaders at the end of the mile in that elimination without much urging.
Yeah, no, you had to beat two. You had to beat two, and I think David realised. I mean, you're not getting to the winner. They've already kicked away. That's this job done basically. Job done. Draw a post, and unfortunately that didn't quite happen. But
Post 9 isn't ideal for the final, but he's been known to be able to carry his speed. Does the outside post really concern you much?
Well, I believe he's a great horse, and great horses can overcome. So, it's okay. They put up the money. I imagine they'll race quite hard. I don't think any horse can really sit on the outside the whole way. There's still going to be the element of trip. I mean, it's up to the drivers and everything, but he's a very, very strong horse. I mean, he'll be okay.
How did he come out of that elimination race?
You know what, he come out of it great. I sort of thought, it was a really, really hot night there Saturday night, and they were just sweating like crazy, and he carries a lot of condition and everything anyway, but yesterday he's screaming out at all his friends. He was screaming at his friends when he came home, so I think he's come out of it really well. I'm probably a little bit more nervous about him. I mean, it's obviously things haven't gone to plan. I do think the horse is a great horse. I'm kind of hoping that these different circumstances, whether it be COVID and post positions and everything, don't put a detriment on the horse, because he doesn't deserve it. I think he's a phenomenal animal. I'm pretty keen. I mean, we got a whole week here to kind of gear up for it, but both my horses come out of their races very well. We haven't had to be careful about anything. It's really just whatever schedule I want to do, and I think I've been there before, and hopefully I can get it right.